invited to experience unity. It's time to put aside the differences that divide us. And embrace the beauty of each one of us being different, being unique, being ourselves. In the essence of who we truly are. A beautiful array of human beings across the planet. So many different ways of being human. So let us get to know each other. Let's spend time with each other. Let's learn from each other. And let's open our hearts to each other. And let's find the unity that exists right in the middle of the richness of our diversity. We are human. We are unique. We are one.
Welcome, everyone. Whoa, that was so heartwarming and heart-touching. And I am so thrilled and honored to be here and so grateful to Unity.Earth and the SINE Network and Wisdom of the World, Gary Malcolm's, and all these wonderful people, Santone de la Vie, who is the visionary sponsor of this whole idea of healing America. And we are so grateful to have this opportunity to talk to you, whether you're watching the replay or whether you're here live with us, because if you're here, you are part of the great healing and the great awakening that is happening. And we are so grateful to you because your consciousness is primed and ready. And you know what it means to send out love and to send out peace. And boy, do we need that ever. But first, before we go into our candlelight vigil, I would like to call forth and let you know who is the people that I have the great honor of being amongst in this beautiful evening that we are going to orchestrate. I want to, if you could bring side by side Dr. Marty Casey with me. I wanted to introduce her because she is a woman of heart. I can tell you, I have met some women, and you know when you met a woman who's a mama bear, and this is a mama bear. She is a heart-centered woman. She lives in Ferguson, Missouri, and she started the first organization after the unrest of Ferguson that's tirelessly, she served over 2,500 children at no cost to their families, providing classes centered around the arts, educating the youth in poetry, singing, dance, and theater, because this is such a powerful way of healing PTSD and trauma. And Dr. Marty is even one, she got an honorary doctorate degree for her work. She started the Institution of called Ungun, which helps to train people and works with a medical trauma physician, Dr. Punch, from Stop the Bleed. And she is just doing phenomenal work. In 2018, she was inducted into the United Nations as the first female Goodwill Ambassador of Peace in the Midwest. And she writes a she is a one-woman show, let me tell you. So we are very honored and so pleased to have you with us, Dr. Marty. And then joining us with her, if you could bring Dr. Mwanza Farhara come on with us. And she is also received an honorary. I mean, you're talking about women who have put their heart and soul into music for healing. It has been such an honor to work with you and to watch her grow and to listen to you sing and to watch the work that you do in the community to try to bring forward. Her work spans over 60 years. She's a gifted vocal actor and producer, as well as an entertainer, and she is plagued with the best. The jazz legends of Richard Groove Holmes and the Pharoah Sanders and Merrill Sanders and Pee Wee Ellis and Billy Esteen, and just to name a few. But more importantly, she is very close and intimate with Dr. Maya Angelou, and she is going to grace us with that. And she is joined in the back with Gail Muldrow, who has been one of the lead guitarists with the Prince Band and is a part of the band that she and Gail have been working with called Chocolate Medicine, which is so perfect, right? Chocolate Medicine.
Graham Central Station.
She worked with Graham Central Station.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Right.
Today she's still the bride of Funkenstein.
Oh, so. Man, we are so fortunate and so happy to have both of you here because
I just didn't want anybody to think that I was Prince's lead guitar player because she was a tall chick. She might kill me.
Well, we're in for a real treat tonight with these gorgeous women who are the heart and soul of America. Let me tell you, and they know what prayer for and how to do it. So we're going to start by going into, if you could put our image of Our Lady of Ukraine up. So I want you to just take a moment and take a look at this image, which came across as a request people sent to me because of my Divine Feminine work that I do, that we do prayers for helping to activate and request peace from Our Lady of Ukraine. And, you know, I always do in my events, I have a beautiful red and white with the goddess symbol thing to do candlelight vigils, because I discovered that, you know, people don't know the backstory about why the Berlin Wall came down. And what happened was there was a woman and there was a documentary made about her life that I watched, and she was so upset about the fact that children are impacted in such a tremendous way by war. And so she made a quilt where she put the names of all the children that she could find out who had died at the hand of war in the 20th century. And then she would take groups of children around the world to different spots, and she would unroll this quilt, and the kids were there, and the press would come, and they would be able to tell the story and help raise awareness about how horrible war is on children. And but every time she opened up the quilt, she was at the Great Wall of China and opened the quilt. She even went to the Berlin Wall before it came down and opened up the quilt there. She would take a candle and would light it. And some people say, well, what could a candle do? But she would always light the candle with the intention that peace will prevail and peace will come. It's peace on earth. So she was holding that prayer and that vigil for years. So when the wall came down, they had a great celebration, and they wanted to bring peacemakers to the wall in a ceremony where they would give them a plaque of a piece of the wall, kind of as their trophy for helping to break down walls. And they said that to her that she was invited to come, that the ceremony was going to be held exactly where the crack happened, and the first crack in the wall. And so she was very excited to see where that was, because she had been to the wall before. So when she got there to the ceremony, she was so surprised to find out that the crack was exactly where she had placed her candle. So you never know what the heart of a woman and enduring for children. They say that the prayers of a mother for a child are the strongest prayers on earth. And so I would like to have all of us go into prayer now and light our candles. And then I'm going to ask for Dr. Marty to follow me in prayer as we drop in to this beautiful place of the heart of love that we are all a part of. So I'm lighting my candle from the pink flame that's on my altar. And we will take this incredible journey that we go from the head to the heart, where we are calling on the wisdom of the heart, where the heart of love is the only thing that's going to save the world. For love is the only thing that is real. And we know that we are all connected by this love. We all have the ability to see with eyes of love. And so we can spread love, we can speak love, we can share love, we can give love, we can receive love, and we can join together in love. And for this, we are so deeply grateful. And we call upon the mother of Our Lady of the Ukraine to come forth and bring her presence, to bring her love to all the children, be them Ukrainian or Russian. Because the Russian people are not happy to be at war either. They are protesting in the streets as well. They don't want war. The Ukrainian people don't want war. We shouldn't even have borders, but we do. But we should honor and respect each other and learn how to live together in peace. So it is this peace, this endearing peace, that we claim and hold near and dear to our hearts. And we send it out with a great intention of love as our candle burns throughout the night. Blessed be. Thank you, everyone. May that go forth across the land. So our first guest that I want to bring up is going to be Dr. Marty Casey. And I heard Dr. Marty talk at Scott Katamas's Global Peace Tribe, and I was really taken with her heart. And as I've gotten to know her and as I've gotten to connect with her, one of the things I know already without a shadow of a doubt is that you are the love of life. And your work is so powerful because you are so committed and dedicated to this love. And to me, this is what this call on this platform, Healing America, is all about. We're calling for all of us to rise up in love, not in hate, not in segregation and separation and all this kind of stuff. We want to join. And why would we join? Because we're better that way. Diversity opens our hearts and makes our lives rich, and the gifts are bountiful. As you will see tonight, you're going to see some amazing gifts that these women offer. Yes, and as Ben says, we have to pray for Putin. Well, Putin's wounded little boy needs some help, and we don't exclude that. We actually know to see the truth that we're not demonizing anyone. We're here to love, and we're here to invite more people to rise up in love. So, Dr. Casey, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about this trauma that we are all experiencing from looking at America, at Ukraine, at war, and all of this, and share with us some of your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, Christy, I want to say thank you so much for having me here on this platform tonight. This is amazing. I'm actually even trying to fight back tears as I was quietly praying with you and asking God to just completely remove me and use me to be able to share what he will have me to share today, and that it will be useful for anyone that is hearing and sharing this program, because the intentions have been set. Your heart has been spoken to specifically to bring together many different people of many different cultures, because when you say the word America, America is not just white. America is not just Black. We might be the bookends, but there's so many things in between. So America is all of us. So we have to identify that first. So I just want to thank you, Christy, for saying yes, because there are so many people who may have received that calling and that mission, but because of what it would look like or the things that we may have to talk about tonight, they shy away and they say, oh no, but maybe maybe another time, Lord. But the fact that you said, yes, I believe, I already know that God is going to show up and do a great thing through everyone that's here. And I already know that because in the back room, even getting a chance to meet Dr. Ferrara, who's going to be coming up in shortly, to find out that she and I are so closely have been interacting with someone that I deeply, deeply respect. I would not be an activist today if it was not for Reverend Dancy. I am a member of St. Paul AME, and my great grandmother was a member of St. Paul AME well over 60 something years. She sang in the choir for over 50 years. And so you asked me specifically about trauma, and I have to mention my great grandmother, who was born in 1910, because when I did this thing in my business of Ungun Institute, we've created a process that's called trauma tracing, just like COVID tracing. And so when I heard COVID tracing, I said, now, whoa, we on to something here. Trauma tracing, I was able to go back in history and see some of the trauma and the effects of how and where it started in my family and how it's trickled down to where we are today. From my great grandmother to now my grandson, who is 9, we're talking about 6 generations. Do you know how blessed I am to be able, as a 51-year-old Black woman in America, to be able to tell you that I have the spirit of someone born in 1910 who did not die until 2003. So I was well in my 30s before God called my great grandmother home. So everything in her, she passed on to me. And I'm now passing it on to my grandson. So that trauma tracing, trauma's transferable, but the good news is so is healing. So I love how you named this Healing America. See, we have to start with what the problem is, but before we leave here, we're going to get to the solution. So trauma is the problem. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. So when I saw the hurt, trauma, tracing it back to my great grandmother, Christy, she had lost 2 of her children before she was 35 years old. One was 2. He had drank a bottle of bleach thinking it was milk, and he died in her arms.
Aww.
Another one, her son was a teenager, could swim really well, and his friends dared him to swim to the middle of the Mississippi River and swim back. He made it to the middle, but when he got ready to turn back, a current took him.
Oh.
My great grandmother had to go days later and identify his body, which had washed ashore. She told me this. This is not anything I've heard from someone else. These are her words. She said, Marty, I lost my mind. And the moment that I looked at my baby and I seen where the fish had eaten his eyes out, the trauma hit her just like that. See, trauma is one of those things that has no face, no place. It sneaks up on you, no race. It doesn't care who you are. See, there's a lot of things that we share. There's so many things that we as Blacks and whites, we try to divide by saying, oh, the color of our skin or this, or those are the things that we use to divide us. But let me share some things that are similar. We all bleed red blood. We all breathe the same air, and we all hurt the same when trauma hits. Yeah. So my great-grandmother instantly, when the trauma hit her, if you look at the human body, the mind, body, and spirit being one connecting, it was as if someone just came along and unplugged her system. Everything shut down. Trauma affects the mind, the body, the spirit. My great-grandmother was she was a devoted Christian who sang in the choir every Sunday. But instantly she quit talking, she quit eating. Her body started aching. She laid down, depression hit. She didn't want to do nothing but die. Her sisters, because she was the baby of 19 children. Wow. Her sisters had to come and try to nurse her back to health. They couldn't get her to eat anything, bite into nothing. They decided to crumble up crackers and put it on her tongue and began to get her to drink a little bit of water. That was the only thing kept her alive physically. She said she wanted to die. So she started talking to God in her mind. And she said, I needed to get a message to him. So she sang a song she knew in her mind. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, and let me stand. I am tired. I am weak. Oh, so worn. See, when she began to sing that song, her mind remembered the words and her body began to move and her spirit was awakened again because music is medicine. So when that happened, she started to sing out loud. She had not spoken in weeks. Her sisters came in like, oh my God. And they stood her up. She sang herself back to health, mental health, physical health. And had she not sang that song, had that song not been in her mind and in her spirit, Christy, I wouldn't be here today. Yeah. See, my great-grandmother had to stay alive in order for the rest of us to get here. Right. So music is powerful. So when you talk about healing America, the first thing, and I'm going to come back later, but the first thing I want everybody to write down is get a song of healing in your heart. So when your body gives out, your mind will remember and your spirit will be awakened.
Thank you, Marty, so much for your beautiful wisdom. And I want to invite Dr. Mwanza Ferrara to come on with Gail, and she's going to give us a taste of this musical medicine, and then we're going to have you come on back again over and over to bring more of your wisdom. But Mwanza, I am so grateful that you are here with us, and you have Gail, and you guys have knocked it out of the park with, I've seen you do your jazz music, and honey, you are to die for. And so I am so looking forward to this. You know, she has put together this fabulous show of music to Maya Angelou's poems. And so I'm going to let you talk, and you tell us about how you use your chocolate medicine, as you say, to heal.
And actually, it has really been therapeutic. Not only for me, but several of us who have been and working with the band, the two bands. And Gail and I, and actually Gail came up with the name. We started brainstorming. I said, we're going to start this band. We got to come up with a name. So Chocolate Medicine came up, and I said, stop, that's it. and chocolate medicine because we had diversity and still do in the band. So we had all the chocolates represented. And whenever we say chocolate, we know it's therapeutic and healing because people smile. Even people who can't eat chocolate because they're allergic to it, they still want to. So that, along with this whole movement about healing and how therapeutic this is. And for me, here recently, just got diagnosed with osteoarthritis, and my little assistant, oh, she's over here, and I had to move her for Gail. I'm on a little walker right now. But because I have music and because I have the arts, those things have kept me with a smile in my face, even when I had to be in my bed, which it's like my pillows are all disarray because I'm only sitting up for this. I'm supposed to have my leg elevated. But Dr. Angelou will live with me forever because I'll never forget when we was filming Blacks, Blues, Blacks. We went out for lunch. I'm sure it was for lunch. And we was on our way back to the studio. And then it was down at the end of 6th Street past Brennan in San Francisco. And we passed the man on the street who was naturally homeless. So he was unclean, and he reached up to us like this. And when he did, I scowled back and moved like this. And she said to me, and I'm going to take this to my grave. It's with me. When I left this country, it aided me. She said to me, do not ever look down at your nose as to someone who has a condition in life that is plaguing them. What you can do is learn from that person. If nothing else, not to be that. If there's something that doesn't feed, then your spirit is to make sure that you can lift others from that, bring people in and smile. And so from that day on, and it aided me because when I went to the Philippines and I went to people who were so much more disadvantaged than I had ever thought I was, it aided me in having my arms open, having me smile, and I interacted with people, and we couldn't speak the same language, but we knew we were connected as people, and we was doing things. People was touching our skin because I had people who had their skin complexion was like mine. And so Dr. Angelou has been and will be always a part of my life because she's left such an impression on me. She helped me to understand that whatever condition life puts on us, it is something that we're all supposed to learn from. It's something we're all supposed to embrace because, and I'm going to say that this in this poem that she wrote, and I wanted to do this because it speaks about all the different races and us coming together. And when William Jefferson Clinton called her and invited her to recite a poem for his upcoming inauguration, well, naturally that woman accepted, and she became the second poet in history to recite a poem on the Capitol steps. But she took it a step further because she became the first poet in history to write a poem specifically for the occasion. And she penned on the pulse of morning. A rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed, mark the mastodon. The dinosaur who left dried tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, Today, the rock cries out to us clearly, forcefully. Come, you may stand up on my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no more hiding place down here, where you created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have laid too long face down in ignorance, the mouth spilling words armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, the river sings a beautiful song. Come rest here by my side. Each of you aborted country, delicate, strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left currents of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. But today I call you to my riverside, if you will study war no more. Come clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the stone were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet still knew you knew nothing. The river sang and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So says the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African and Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the homeless, the privileged, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river. Each of you, descendant from some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation who rested with me, then 4 stone bloody feet left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot. You, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the crew. Bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourself beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. And if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon this day, dawning for you, and give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands and mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. And lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded to forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less to Midas than the mendicant, and no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
Oh my God, thank you so much. If you could bring up Dr. Marty Casey with me, and we want to just love up Mwanda, you are outstanding. Boy, I was the rock and the tree and the whole 9 yards.
The thing was, my challenge was this. She had already recited it on the Capitol steps. So in order for me to get anywhere close to that, I had to memorize it. So
yeah,
it's been a work in progress ever since.
Boy, your brain is sharp as a tack.
At that time, I had one mistake, the whole thing.
Oh my goodness. We can't identify what that mistake is, so don't even point it out.
I didn't make any. That was the thing. This time it didn't. It was all there, and it speaks to us, humankind, and what we need to be, how we need to reach out, and why we need to reach out. Because if we remember all of those things that have been tragic, all of those things that leave pain in our hearts, if we remember those things, then we can change them. If we try to negate our past and we don't embrace it with courage, like she said, with courage, then we don't have to live it again.
I just want to give a shout out to Gail. Gail, you did a fabulous job. I just so love hearing the feminine touch to the guitar that you bring is awesome. So
I love working with her.
Yeah. So they're going to come back again and do another poem later on. And so now Dr. Marty Casey is going to talk to us, and we want to explore what's been happening in Ferguson, because this is dedicated to Black history. And of course, she's from Ferguson.
I am not from Ferguson. I live next door in a county.
But you're close to Ferguson.
I'm 10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes from Ferguson. I live in Florissant. However, my mother does live in Ferguson. But when Ferguson happened, being an artist here in St. Louis, I felt like it was my duty and responsibility to stop what I was doing and to actually be boots on the ground to see how I could lend my voice, a stage, a mic, a face, a name, anything that I thought could be used to help us rise up in that uprising. That is the reason that I became very weaved in, if you will, into the history of what took place in Ferguson. But I'm very intentional in making sure that what we say is of truth, because history is that powerful, and we have to, and I know that it was not done intentionally, but I just want to make sure everyone knows I'm not from Ferguson. However, I do live nearby.
Right. Very
Yeah.
good.
So what was the question after we cleared that up now? Because I'm still blown away by the piece.
I know, isn't that was fabulous. And so we're going to be bringing John Lewis's story forward, and he played a pivotal role with you, and he's been so dedicated, and we're struggling and waiting and hoping to see if any semblance of his voter rights bill gets passed. And so we're just, I want you to talk from your heart about what it was like when Michael Brown got shot, and then when John Lewis came, and then we want to show the clip of John Lewis and really help to show people what a powerful, powerful man he was in the world of forgiveness. I worked for years in helping to produce the Worldwide Forgiveness Alliance, where we would honor heroes of forgiveness. So we have a fabulous forgiveness story about this. So if you could give us in a few minutes just your capsulized version about what happened, that would be fabulous.
Absolutely. I was so honored when I received a phone call saying that Representative John Lewis was coming to St. Louis to actually premiere his story, his documentary about his life. And this was the first time that it was going to be shown, and that he was even seeing it after it had been produced. So the fact that he chose St. Louis, and it was because of what had taken place in Ferguson, that he chose to come here to Washington University to show it. But I was called specifically and said, Dr. Marty, we would like for you, because we both were in the film festival at that time. And so I was in a film that was showing, and his film was showing, and they wanted me to pick him up from the airport and escort him to his movie premiere and all of that. So when I tell you, I hold that moment in my heart. So when I picked him up from the airport, it was he and his handler, and I'm driving, he's in the passenger seat and the handler's in the back seat. And I'm just as nervous as I don't know what, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm driving precious historical cargo right now, and I want to get him straight to his hotel, get him checked in, and nothing else. But as I was driving, something said, the Spirit fell over me and said, this is a moment that you need to make sure he has an opportunity to embrace. And I said, Representative John Lewis, before I take you to your hotel, would you mind if I show you Ferguson and show you exactly where they actually murdered Michael Brown? He says, I would be delighted, and everything can go on hold until you do that. So I took him to the very spot. He got out of the car, and you can still see in the pavement where they tried to dig up the pavement. So the new pavement's been set. So you see specifically exactly where the murder took place. And Representative John Lewis stood in the center of that pavement block, and he wept. He just cried. And I mean, I'm crying. The handler's crying. I mean, it was, and at this point, cars are coming around the corner kind of pretty fast. And I'm like, I think we need to, get him, out of the street. Let's get him back in the car. So when he comes back into the car, he was quiet. His head was down a little, and he reached over and he touched my forearm, and he says, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking he was apologizing for being standing in the street. And I said, oh, no, it's fine. He says, no, I'm sorry, because I thought that when we marched across that bridge in Selma, that we ended this. And I see that we did not. He says, I'm passing you this baton, and I want you to carry it across until the work is done. I've always considered myself an activist and an artist, but it was something in that moment that just, it it just transformed me in a way that I can't even to this day put it into words. So when I tell you that the work that I do, giving honor first to God, I then have to also give thanks to Representative John Lewis for touching me and handing me the baton and telling me exactly what my mission is on this earth. I am forever grateful. And I thank you for asking me to share that story.
Thank you so much. That was very touching, you know, and we were able to get a clip that was shown at the 13th annual Worldwide Forgiveness Alliance. And this clip really shows you what an incredibly powerful and man of forgiveness he was. We flew out for the Worldwide Forgiveness ceremonies that were held in Marin County. Elwin Wilson. He was the man when John Lewis walked into the white-only Greyhound bus station to cross the line in protest. He was the man who beat the living daylights out of and almost cracked his skull, put him in the hospital, and all of that. And he had an epiphany that what he did was not right and wrong. And so I want to show, if Becky, if we can go to that clip, that would be really great. Thank you.
Unlikely reunion for these two men, Congressman John Lewis and Elwin Wilson. They didn't even know the other's identity. They met, if you can call it that, 48 years ago. In very different times, in a blur of angry fists and proud protest. Lewis, then a freedom rider for Dr. King, arrived at the Rock Hill, South Carolina bus depot, May 9th, 1961, and was pummeled by Wilson, who for years has been working his way toward this moment.
I'm sorry for what happened down there.
Okay. It's almost 48 years ago. That's right. Yeah. So remember that day well?
Try to get it out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever imagine this moment?
I never thought that this would happen. It says something about the power of love, the power of grace, and the power of people to be able to say, I'm sorry.
I feel like I got saved out there.
Going back those 48 years, not easy for either of them.
We tried to enter a so-called white waiting room. And the moment we started through the door, a group of young men attacked us.
You helped beat up Representative Lewis.
Help. I didn't have no help.
It was you. It was all you.
Yeah.
There were so many incidents he now recounts with shame.
I had a black baby doll in the house. And I had a little rope. And I tied it to a limb and let it hang there.
You can see the glee on his face after he hit this man with an egg, fighting to keep blacks out of the local diner. Over the years, he'd revisit the diner, haunted, knowing he'd done wrong. One of his buddies, deeply religious, posed the question that would finally set his soul on a different course.
He said, if you died right now, do you know where you would go? I said, to hell.
And then, as Elwin Wilson watched Barack Obama become president, something shifted in his heart.
I didn't vote for him, but I'm glad he's there. And I prayed for him.
And so for weeks now, Wilson has been apologizing all around town and then in Washington. The sudden transformation overwhelming to Wilson's son, Christopher.
He was really a hard person to deal with growing up. I always told him that, we're all the same.
And what now?
I want to love people, regardless of what color.
A 5-decade journey from the evil of bigotry to the power of redemption.
We gather because we have chosen hope.
That as much as any other change in our country clearly answers the hopes of Dr. King and his followers.
For you to come here today, and it's amazing. Maybe others will come forth, and because there need to be this healing.
Well, that's what I said. If one person comes forward and says the same thing I did, this is all worth it.
Good to see you, my friend.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Wow. You're muted, Marty,
Wow.
but
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
you can
Wow.
see what a big, big man John Lewis was, and that he held that love in his heart. And it eventually, what the words he said to him, to Ellis Wilson, ate away at him, and his grandson was not happy about his bigoted, grandfather. So he confronted him and said, listen, you think you're going to heaven, you ain't going to heaven, you're going to hell. And so I'm willing to offer as a bonus to anyone who would like to see the whole thing, because he came on the stage with John Lewis and they talked to us about their experiences and in Marin County. So it was a very powerful night for all of us. So
that's that
anyway.
trauma tracing. That's that trauma tracing again, Christy.
Yeah.
You see how what the grandfather did as he created that negative energy and carrying that traumatic event in his heart, and how it even affected his grandson so much to the point that it was like, this is where we break that cycle.
Yeah.
I will not allow what you've done for me to hear about this, bear witness, and be affected emotionally, because I know what is right. To love is what's right.
Yeah.
I cannot allow you to put me on the path of hatred and to tell me that that's right.
Right.
It has to be ungunned. And so that's where what I do for a living comes into play. Some people have a hard time getting to that place of touching that deep-rooted hurt and pain. So to help them ungun it in the manner like the grandson did with his grandfather, because what he did, he tapped into his belief systems. See, if we were to go deeper into the story, I would almost be willing to bet that the grandfather has some very connected, deep belief systems. And the grandson knew, I'm going to tell him, because he believes in heaven and hell. So I'm going to tell him, you think you're going to heaven, but with what you've done, you are going to hell. And that was able to reach him and to ungun that event. That's what forgiveness does. It's a tool. That's number 2. I would like everybody to write this down. Number 2. Forgiveness is a tool that reaches inside of you and aids you to be able to let loose of that hurt and pain that someone else inflicted on you. We can't physically put our hands down in past our stomach and our kidneys and say, oh, let me move some stuff around so I can feel better. We can't physically do that. But forgiveness, it starts in the mind and connects to the heart, says, use this tool to go deep down inside of yourself for that self-healing. Right. When you forgive someone else, you don't just free them, you heal yourself.
And speaking of healing yourself, I want to bring Gary Malcolm on to join with us, because Gary, as you know, is a beloved in our community and has devoted so much time. No, don't take Dr. Marty off yet, because I think, Gary, you want to say some words to her, and maybe we can do some healing music for her and just hold that, because that was hard to watch, that film. And also Dr. Ferrara, it should also be on when you play, Gary, because we want to bless you with the beautiful, amazing, healing music that Gary brings forth. So Gary, I'm going to let you speak and then you decide what you want to do. But these sisters, our sisters, they are deeply rooted in America doing the healing work. And we are so blessed to have them a part of us. And Gail in the back, say, Gail, we're not going to forget you, dear. We see you.
I'm invisible.
Ooh.
Hello. What an honor. What an honor to be here. Hello, Mwanza, and hello, Dr. Marty, and hi, Gail, and hi, Christy. I just flew in on an Uber from San Francisco and said, if you get me here really quickly, I got something to do. So I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
So I have, tell me when I have a song to sing, but for now, I just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is to, my dear friend Christy has been supporting my musical events and the allies in the spirit and music collectives that we've established over the last 30 years. And so when Christy and Santan had this idea to create a healing event on January 6th, I knew that it was important, and I thought it was a one-off. And then suddenly, Dr. Marty, here you are, and here we are. And
it's so
such
honored.
a privilege and an honor and a delight. So I don't know what to say right now because I have a couple of songs maybe in this period of time. But
let's
I'm
do your
happy
healing medicine for these two beautiful women who are in the trenches for years and years and years. And they need to receive the medicine of that kind of heart coherence, love coherence, wholehearted, peaceful music. This is for you guys. We love you so much.
I'm just going to play a pad because you said you wanted me to support some prayers going on here. So rather than sing right now, I'm just going to say that, let's just right now. I don't know can you hear that pad in the background by any chance? Yeah. It's not too loud, is it? Great.
Very soothing.
So let's just all take a breath together, and I'm going to support whoever feels called by the Holy Spirit to let's bring in some homily prayer, and let's just see an America that's healed of the people, for the people, by the people, with liberty and justice for all. I just want to say one thing that comes to mind as I was listening to all of you speak. Luckily, I had my Facebook on in the middle of the Uber, and I remembered when Desmond Tutu, who was a beloved, I would say a friend, but somebody who I spent some time with at the Global Healing Conferences in Bali. And he said that every one of us is as if we're connected by this rope, every one of us on this planet, and that we are climbing this mountain together. And none of us would ever be able to make the mountain without each and every one of us tied to one another to make it together. It's the only way. And that's the spirit of this event, and that's the spirit of this impulse. So I'm going to leave it at that, and just with this music behind, I'd just love us to see what wants to come through you with prayer and what the vision of healing America really could be like.
This is really beautiful, Gary. First of all, we just want to recognize your dedication of flying in. You called me from the airport before you boarded your plane, and to see you now in this room, I know that everything has been just so intentional for you to be here. And I don't believe that this program would even have the power that we're praying for it to have if you was not here, because you was every bit a part of it from the beginning. So for that, we are grateful. I want to ask, just based off of what you just stated, that everyone in this room right now, we have over 40 people that are coming in the room, and we ask that you utilize the chat right now. But we want you to just take a moment, take a breath, and think about the positive word that you would like to place into the atmosphere, because this collective prayer has to be formed with you in mind, because you are also a part of America. We ask right now if you could just please place your one word into the chat. And then I also want to ask that we want to make sure that we're very respectful as we're listening and watching this program tonight, that we create energy, and sometimes our strong opinions, as we force them out on others or what have you, it can change the atmosphere. And so we want to make sure that if that is not the place as to where that is in your mind and spirit tonight, that you go ahead and log on, and we will lift you up in prayer, because we want to make sure that we keep this place sacred. We stay on one accord, and we don't come into this place in judgment. We don't come into this place trying to force our beliefs on anyone else. That's not who we are. We are men and women of God. We are children of God. And we come right now lifting him above all things. He is only God. The only God. No matter what you call him. Even if you call him a sheep. I don't sit here in judgment. I know who he is to me. And I call him Jesus. I'm a Christian woman. I'm unapologetic about that. And I respect who you are and how you call forth your God, our God, our God. Yeah. We come before you right now, God. We come in harmony, calling on our Creator. We asking right now, God, that the respect for all, I am praying this prayer from what you're placing here. So from the respect of all, we come in honor, and we are grateful, oh God, and we come in bliss, oh God. We're praying for Ukraine. And the sincerity of the spirit of why we even gathered, why Christy would even bring us into this space today. Oh, we're sending our love out. This is a collective prayer for unity. Come on, keep those words coming. This is our prayer. This is our prayer. In radiance. Yes, oh God. Thank you for the compassion that is falling on the hearts of those who are tuning in right now and listening, oh God, with intelligence. Hey, Lord. We pray right now, oh God, that we have the power collectively to even pray for the healing of Putin. Lord, we pray for the rainbow bridges. We pray for common sense, oh God, because in order for us to have harmony, we first must have common sense, infinite, to amplify and to create and call forth merciful love. It comes from a place of wisdom, deep peace from within. So important, oh God, that we remain rooted in grace. Mother Gaia, maximum grace, mercy, oh God, open-hearted, oh God. This is our collective prayer today, because we are all a part of America. We all need healing. We all have been affected by trauma. We're all being triggered by a war that should not be. There's peace within, Lord, and we asking you right now to allow us to use the tool of forgiveness to reach down and touch our very souls. As we're raising the collective in consciousness, the vibration to be in love and kindness. Oh God, we thank you. We honor you. We give you all the praise. Hallelujah. We are one. We thank you, oh God. Know that the light of God shines brightly. Know that it shines brightly. We'll continue to love you in abundance. Your holy name. From our own native tongue, Call out the name that you call out so well. So it's so important to stay grounded in your faith. Faith over fear. I call out the name of Jesus. Call out the name. As we pray this prayer collectively for Ukraine, for Russia, for the world. Because when one brother hurts, every brother and sister hurt. We are one. We can't be one in our rise and not be one in the fall. Our spirit in miracles, in sacred holiness, we pray these things today and forevermore. Amen. Amen.
Have no fear, have no shame, children of the earth. We are all made the same, perfect from our birth. Though at times we lose our way, da 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 da, love inside will call to us, shining come what may. So come with us, return from distant lands, we're never far away, we're in love's blessed hands. So come with us, return from distant lands, forgive and make amends, we're in God's, we're in love's blessed hand. Though at times we close our hearts, look the other way, love is still alive in us, thriving come what may. So come with us, return from distant lands, we're never far away, we're in love's blessed hands. So come with us, return from distant lands, we're never far away, forgive and make amends, we're in love's blessed hand. Just whether you're in your home alone or with anyone, we can sing this little refrain. It goes, we're in love's blessed hands, we're in love's blessed hands, we're in love's blessed hands. Sing it, Marty.
We're in love's blessed hands.
We're in love's blessed hands. Forgive
blessed hands, we're in love's blessed
blessed
Woo, y'all better come off with 3-part harmony on Zoom. I have never
Hey,
heard
I'm
3-part
telling you,
harmony
it's
on
not supposed to
Zoom.
happen.
You know what? What I love about that is even in the chaos, we are united.
We are
Yes.
united.
Even in the latency chaos, we are united.
We are
And
united.
I want
Wow.
to say one more
So
thing.
honored
Oh,
to
please.
be on this with you two people. Dr. Marty, I am just blown away. Whenever you want me to be in St. Louis, honey, I am there. Do you hear me? I want to meet you up and close and personal. We need to talk. I'm on a mission that we need. Oh God, this is such a blessing. And oh Lord, I thank you so much, Christy. I had no idea that this was going to unfold as it has.
Yes.
Truly.
You are my new auntie. Let me just say that. You may not have met me yet, but you're my new auntie. So I'm just letting you know that right now. You
But
and
I'm
Gail
sure I met
are
your.
coming.
I'm sure I met somebody in your family at AME
Yes,
because
you
I
have.
went the whole time. Felix was pastor.
Oh my God. Then
But
yes,
you know what? What we're doing now is healing America by being
Oh
real
yes,
together,
yes,
by
We
Gary.
are family.
by being unrehearsed together, by just hanging out and being beloveds together. So
this is
what an
amazing.
honor, what a delight, Chrissy. Where do you want to take this next?
Well, you know, I just want to acknowledge Ben and John Raymer because these two men are forging a pathway globally across the world. And thank God, Gary, you jumped on their ship and you brought us all on board. And we have work to do to spread this love. But
Yes.
it's really all about connecting at the heart. Yay, John. Thank you, John. and
My gosh.
and John, you got to bring your voice into the mix too. And Ben, you got to bring your voice into, because this is what you guys are all about. And this spontaneous eruption of love is because you guys have forged your way to have the insight and the smarts and the wherewithal to heal America. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
they're not called the Unity and Compassion Network for nothing. Hi, John.
Gary. So beautiful.
So what do you want to say, John? Say something. I love when you open
Well,
your mouth.
I heard earlier today the words of David Graeber. Very interesting gentleman who unfortunately passed away recently. He started the Occupy movement. He wrote a book, Our Awakening World. And what he said was this. He said, the ultimate hidden truth of the world is that it is something that we make and we could just as easily make differently.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, and I really sense, I think like all of us, we're at a turning point.
Yes.
Thomas Friedman called it the World War Wired. We are connected like we've never been before with people from all over the world. We see our oneness in every expression. It's such an honor and privilege to make your voices heard and to be shared widely at this time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, say it. Hey, my friend.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. What a beautiful coming together of music and spirit and beautiful healing and just feeling these beautiful intentions. So thank you, Christy, and to Dr. Mwanza and Dr. Marty and you, Gary, and everybody. Thank you for these positive, healing, loving vibrations coming from you and going right around, not just America, but right around the world. We need it right now more than ever. So very, very grateful for this gift of healing.
And you know this other thing that that Desmond Tutu said when I was doing that conference. He said that the only way things heal is that you clean out the wound and you let the sun and the air touch the wound from the inside out. And that's what the purpose of Healing America is all about, is just being with what is, with our hearts, our sunlight, our love, the air, the fresh air, the cleanness of being real together. So
yeah, it's the sunlight of the spirit.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And bringing that love, like we got to pour it on.
And
just because
I have to give a little shout out. My dad was born in what was Russia, but was the Ukraine part of Russia. So I have this very deep Russian soul, and my heart is breaking for what's going on right now. And it's the same story of man's inhumanity to man, really. It's
that's
just
right.
So we're just here on behalf of all of that as well. And I just thank you for allowing me to participate. I have another song, but I don't have to do it. Let other people share.
We want you to do it, but first, what I'd love is if Mwanza, if you'd be willing to do the Why Cage Birds Sing. And then Gary, you could close us out with your song and your medicine and whatnot, if that sounds good to everybody. I know.
Why don't you make her be the featured screen on this, and I'll get it myself off now.
Because I had just told Gail, because of what's going on and all this stuff going on, I had said instead of doing Run Joe Cage Bird Sing, we was going to do Oh La Di Da, which was done by the Staples Singers, which is a true civil rights anthem. And the next time when we're honored to do this, we're going to do Cage Bird, but I think this song is much more appropriate for what's going on here now. So we're going to switch on you.
Okay.
If you feel like clapping your hands, you better come on, come on, come on, come on. And if you feel like you want to dance, come on, come on, come on. And if you feel like you want to sing, come on, come on, come on. Oh, now everybody sing along. You sing, oh la di da, 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 oh la di da. Oh, hey, everybody sing along. If you feel that you want a friend, come on, come on, come on, come on. Regardless of the color of my skin, come on, come on, come on, come on. And if you want discrimination to end, come on, come on. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody sing along. Oh, sing oh la di da. Hey, yo, oh la di da. Come on, come on, come on. Oh la di da. You say oh la di da. Oh, oh la di da. Oh la di da. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody sing along. Well, if you wanna do your thing, come on, you can do it. Don't you be ashamed. Come on, come on, come on. It could be a woman or a man, so come on. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Everybody sing along. Sing, yeah, you say oh la di da. 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 Yeah, yeah. Oh, la 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 la. This is the last one. If you want to live in peace, come on, come on, come on, come on. If you wanna live in harmony, come on, come on, come on. Come and stand by me, or we can do it together now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You say I'm inviting you, y'all. Except for Zoom, you can't sing along. Oh, say, oh, la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da. Oh, la-di-da. Oh, yeah. La-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Thank you. Oh my God, what a blessing. You know, I mean, this is what it's all about. I remember there was a movie that was about World War I or II or something like that. It was very grim and dim and whatnot. And then there was a guy who had the mandolin, it was called the mandolin player. And he would get up and start singing. And it was like, how can you play music when there's war going on? He said, because it's music that's going to stop the war. It's music that's going to heal. It's the fact that we're not singing and dancing in the streets of Moscow, and that we're not singing and dancing in the world, that we have this insanity going on, that we think we have to fight our brother. And so thank you for bringing the joy of your music and the gift of your song, all of you. And Gary, please, your thoughts.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Well, all I could say is I wish I could bilocate to Marty and to Mwanza's. Right now, we all just sit together around the piano and let ourselves heal our hearts with our. You're just amazing, Mwanza. Oh my God, I love that song.
It's the perfect anthem, I'm telling you. When I heard it, we was working on something for Juneteenth in Marin City, and I had this music channel on, and all of a sudden it came on, and I went, what? And then I heard these lyrics about if you want discrimination to end and all this. I went, oh, this is the song. So I Googled it. And I got the link to it, and I
America with also the desire for world peace. So I'm going to start with this, the famous Truth and Reconciliation prayer that Nelson Mandela asked to be said during that amazing time of healing after the apartheid ended, was, let us take care of the children, for they have a long way to go. Let us take care of the elders. They've come a long way. And I added no, so it can rhyme. And then let us take care of those in between, for they are doing the work. Let us take care of our families, take care of the earth. And Angela Starian, the amazing cultural anthropologist, was speaking this on the stage of the Masterpiece event just 2 months before, or 1 month before 9/11. And so in 15 minutes, I wrote this I set it to this melody and sang it. And I want to sing it just a little bit. And then I'm going to go to the song that my beloved friend Christina Frith wrote for the 9/11 one-year memorial that I did at National Cathedral. And it really is appropriate in this moment. So I'd just like us all to take a moment and really recognize that I am not performing right now. I am entertaining, not entertaining. I am including us all in the living prayer that music is the sound of life celebrating itself, as John Ortiz said in this beautiful
So beautifully
book,
said.
The Tao of Music. So it goes, let us take care. Can you hear, is the piano too soft, too loud? Is it good? All right. Let us take care of the children, for they have a long way to go. Let us take care of the elders. They've come a long way, Let us take care of those in between, for they are doing the work. Let us take care of the elders, our families. Take care of the earth. Let us take care of the elders, children. I'm going to try it again. Let us take care of the children, for they have a long way to go. Let us take care of the elders. They've come a long way, you know. Let us take care of those in between, for they are doing the work. Let us take care of our families, take care of the earth. If all souls were brought here to care, why are there so many crying? If all souls were brought here to love, why so much needless dying? The earth is one country and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation. Just think of that. Bury the hate and water the love. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. Bring in the world to a place of unity. As we wrap our loving arms around this changing earth, we can bring in the world. Your way is not like mine, so why do I feel like I know you? We're worlds apart, yet here in my heart, I'm gonna keep moving towards you, Dr. Marty. I'm gonna keep moving towards you, Mwanza. The earth is one country and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation, bury the hate and water the love. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of unity. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. As we wrap our loving arms around this changing earth, we can bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, on the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Oh, I wish I could hear you, Marty. It's time to bring in the world. Oh, help us to bring in the. This is the gospel choir part, but just imagine it. Oh, bring in the world.
Come on, Gary.
Oh, bring in the world. Oh, help us to bring in the world. Oh, bring in the world. Oh, bring in the world. Oh, Lord, help us to bring in the world. Oh, Lord, bring in the world. Oh, Lord, bring in the world. Oh, Lord, help us to bring in the world. Oh, bring in the world.
Bring in Russia.
And Russia and legacy
Bringing
in every,
Ukraine,
bringing the
bringing
world.
the United States,
Tell me more, Marty.
bringing London, bringing China,
Oh,
bringing the world,
bringing the world.
bringing the
Help
world. Oh, bringing the world.
already done.
Yes.
Yay! And
My
Becky and
goodness.
Ben and John Raymer, thank you guys. It was so wonderful to have you. My spirit's elevated. Hopefully the healing energy will just
Becky.
pulsate out. This is Becky, our marvelous tech person. That was oh my God.
Woo, Becky.
You are awesome. You get like 10,000 virgins in the next life. I don't know.
I want to say,
and
that
Gail, come forward, Gail. We got to say hi to you, Gail. Come on up here, Gail. We want to see this up in there.
Hey, Gail.
Everybody, how are you?
And Mwanza, thank you so much, dear heart. I just love who you are and everything about you. You're helping the world. And
Yes.
Dr. Casey, you're the best. You're the cat's meow.
Thank you for having us.
So if people want to share one word of what your vision is, because really, if without vision, the people perish, right? So
I got one thing.
Yeah.
God's got this.
I just want to make one important comment. World Unity Week in June, Unity.Earth is one of the most important organizations that is bringing all faiths together, all traditions together, all people together into a unified vision that's inclusive of religion but not defined by it.
Yeah,
I am so blessed to be in this community that's led by Ben and John and Becky and the most esteemed group of extraordinary people. And with their support, we were able to go Facebook Live. And I thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, because there's way more people that are watching because of the Facebook Live and all the work that John, if you could share what your vision is, because you're connecting groups of people. And I was so blown away when I first heard what the purpose of SINE Network was. So you have to speak it because it's really about all of us needing to join big time.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Christy, for this great expression of unity. The words of Dr. King come to mind. He's had a term he called World House. In the World House, he said, we must learn to live with each other in peace. And if we're going to do that, we're going to have to be generous and loving and supportive. And that's what the SINE Network has done. So all the members of this alliance have granted each other permission to share each other's resources. So tactically and practically, what's happened here is with this live stream from this room, this message of Healing America has gone out, not just from this room to your Facebook page, which it did, but also to many, many others. And we're finding that we are better together. And that takes trust. Trust is at the heart of building beloved community. And I'm grateful in partnership with Ben and Becky and Dr. Marty Casey and you, Gary, and now our family's growing. We're realizing we really are better together.
Yeah.
And we've said that for a long time, but to actually be that is the world we're at now. And we're doing it by demonstrating what we can do together, like by sharing this way. So this is one expression. These convergences online are another example, with World Unity Week coming up and Peace Week. And then there's so many ways we really can use the power we have to make the change that needs to happen in the world right now. It's so urgent. The urgency, the fierce urgency of now is here. So thank you for letting me talk about the SINE Network. And that's what it is.
And Ben, can you talk about World Unity Week? Because what you're doing is like global, right? And it's like the impact is tremendous, I think.
Well, thank you, Christy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Mwanza. And thank you, Becky, for being such a great servant of this program today. Yeah, World Unity Week is 3-4 months away in June. It's the third time we're holding it together in partnership, all partners coming together. And it really is where activism, music, inspiration, spirituality, evolution, I mean, so much comes together when we all come together in a united field around the mid-year solstice. So it's a really powerful moment with a lot of prayer. It's a little bit like the seed of today. There's prayer, there's music, there's discussion, there's healing, there's connecting, and there's reinforcing each other, which as John has spoken about, SINE Network is such a great example of. But Unity.Earth, through all grassroots organizations, from the institutions to the grassroots, of finding ways to show up as a united people of the heart. We can't leave the power in these institutions which we created but no longer serve our interests. And so it's about coming together to change the state of the game. And that's going to take all of us on board, again, from the people in the streets to the people in the UN, to the people in the churches, to the people in the religious institutions, all coming together in one heart and one hope to change things, because it ain't right what's going on. And there are so many challenges that are facing us that the only way we get to deal with them is by coming together and being united. So World Unity Week belongs to everybody. It's part of the commons, and it's our common heritage to come together and continue this work. So thank you, Christy, for a chance to shout that out. And we look forward to seeing you. I hope, Mwanza, we'll get to see you and your beautiful music in World Unity Week. And it is going to take all of us.
I'm there.
Let's go. And never look back.
I'm already in my mind, Ben. I think we need to get together in one room and give a concert for World Unity. That's
yes.
Figure out what city we can meet in, and we give an online concert for Unity Week. And we need to turn that into a CD and make that a fundraiser and just heal the world.
Like a plan to me.
That's how we do it. So Gary, you got to put it together, Gary. Where we meet? We coming to California, or y'all coming to St. Louis? What we do?
Let's go to Madison Square Garden.
In one world. We'll meet in one world.
Yeah, let's go to New York, all the way to Madison Square Garden.
I love it.
Thank you
do too. I love New York.
And I just want to say,
we need to connect. You're in the city, I think. You're in San Francisco, right?
I'm in Sausalito.
Oh my God, you're in Marin?
I'm right above Marin. I'm right above Marin City. But listen, we need to complete. Christy's trying to wrap this thing up.
Oh, sorry, Christy.
That's all right. I just wanted my thank all to you. And I just want to give a big shout out for Santon J. Levy, because it was her vision that she said to do Healing America. And she has had my back all the way, helping me and supporting me to get this into the world and launch. Thank you, Ben, and thank you, John. I love you guys so much. It's so wonderful to see Ben like this. And Gary, I love you. You know I love you to death.
Absolutely wonderful.
Everybody, thank you, and Becky and Gail. Awesome. So we're going to sign off now. But thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next wonderful outrageous expression of love, right? Send love to the Ukraine. Send love to Russia. Heal Putin, please.
And hold the light for the healing of America now.
Yes. Healing of America. Blessed be.
Amen for that.
It was my honor, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Looking forward to the next adventure.